It's the Cincinnati recap show live. Me and Zim are gonna go and dive into this latest Bengals loss to the Bears, 47-42, coming up next on the Cincinnati podcast.
Coming up
On the Cincinnati podcast.
Hello, world. Cincinnati. You guys are the Yoshi creators, bro.
It's a new beginning. You know what that means, right?
But I know this, the whole NFL is scared of the Bengals.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Cincinnati podcast. I seen the comments. Y'all been waiting. I appreciate y'all pulling up on us. Man, I wish it was under better circumstances because the Bengals end up dropping their sixth loss of the season, 47-42, to the Bears at home. I still can't believe it, bro. I still can't believe the missed tackle. The thing that was pointed out to me the most is the effort of nobody else, like not even trying to stop Colston Loveland at the end of the game. It's disgusting. It's atrocious. I think Next Gen Stats just tweeted out 15 missed tackles in this game. Partner, I'm gonna let you go first because I got a lot to say about this game and the defense, but I want to give you the chance and the floor to speak to the people before I go ahead and go in.
I'm a loss for words on this game, bro. Like on one end, I remember coming into the season and I was like, and I think you said this too. It's like, hey, look, we're an offensive team. But I think when you said that, I don't think anybody thought it would be like this. This is the worst defense I've ever seen. Ever. I've never seen a defense this bad before. It could be Russian defense. Like Russian defense is beyond like bad, but even the past, like I feel like they can make plays here and there, maybe. But anytime that is anything like on the line, nah. Like, and it been like that all season. The only reason why we got away from the everybody in the Jazz game, and we're gonna get to this probably later in the show, is y'all remember we ran the clock down because the defense was so bad, and it ran in from the one instead of scoring. We had an opportunity to score with a minute left in that game, but we ran that clock down because we knew the defense was so bad. So that's going to be a conversation I want to ask you about later in the show. But there's really not much to really say. It's long term. The Zach Taylor thing, it's like they're super undisciplined, and I think he should go, right? But then you also can point to he's an offensive coach, and he's scoring 40 a game. So it's like, what coach would come in and give us 40 a game? Or do people just think that it's going to be that easy? Like, it might be with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, like, but what happens when T leaves? You know what I mean? Like, later on, like, I don't know. And I just think that, like, it's just bad, bro. Like, everything, like, it's all bad. They're not mathematically out of it, but 2 back-to-back very winnable games, I thought. They're pretty cooked.
Yeah, I mean, 47. You gave up 47 points in the game where you were able to take a kickback. Joe Flacco had 470 yards, bro, and 4 touchdowns with a bad shoulder. You got the onside kick, and you still found a way to lose this game. Like, and for them to allow another 270 plus, like 250 plus yards of on the ground again, like I don't know, bro. Like, when I'm watching the defense, they can't stop anybody. And it's like they're not getting any push on the inside. The interior defensive line is horrible. The rookie linebackers out there are horrible. And we're watching missed tackle after missed tackle, mistake after mistake. If it's a stop, then it's a penalty. Like, it's the worst defense in football. It is horrible, bro. I don't know what this Al Golden defense is. I think it's a mixture of, the coaching. I think it's a mixture of the personnel. They just have not replaced any of the key players from this defense that they've had. And now we're seeing it with Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson. They got rid of Jermaine Pratt. They benched Logan Wilson. The replacements are nowhere near up to par, bro, at all. And we're talking about bad versions of those players that I just named. They're even worse than the worst version of those players that you think. They're worse than that. And to me, I just don't understand what you can do in this situation. And I think it's actually worse than it was last year. Like, these were things that we had to go through last year where we got to score 40 with Joe Burrow. Okay, cool. We're going to try to do it. But now you're asking us to do that, and they're still being able to do it with Joe Flacco, and it's still not enough. Like, I had a feeling of this, even when I thought that we were going to win the Jets game. I was like, the defense cannot be this bad, because if it's this bad, we literally cannot stop anybody. And that's literally what it is. We cannot stop anybody. They missed the field goal. Like, there was so much stuff that went our way in this game. We blocked the field goal. They missed the field goal. They got it back because of the penalty. But like, bro, they cannot survive off of playing like this every week to week where the offense just can't make one mistake. You got one drive where you go 3 and out, and it's curtains because the defense isn't going to stop anybody. And the fact that they allowed them to score so fast, bro, it blows my mind to go out there. And it's crazy because I had a feeling like, when I saw that they were announcing that the kid from the practice squad from the Bears was being activated, I was like, it's going to be just our luck, bro, that this dude is going to score or go off and do something. He gets in and he has 37 yards and a touchdown. Like, bro, me or you could have ran against the defense and we would have had 100 yards. Like, that's how crazy it is. There's going to be a whole bunch of people that's going to pick that dude from the Bears up on a fantasy football team and going to be disappointed as hell next week because he's not going to do anything next week. He's not going to do what he did to this Bengals defense against somebody else next week. And to me, that's a fireable offense, bro. Like, Al Golden got to be gone. There's no way you could sell me on after a defensive players meeting, you leading the league in all of these stats. You just gave up 47 to the Chicago Bears, and you just gave up 1,000 yards between the last 2 games. There's no way that man can keep a job, bro. There's no way that you can sell me on Al Golden should still be the defensive coordinator or Zach Taylor should still be the coach of this team, because at the end of the day, I blame Lou. I did all of that. He blamed Lou. It's not a Lou problem. It's a worse defense than that. Like, I thought that I came in there this year saying I think the defense will be better than last year. It's too hard for them to be worse than last year. They're worse than last year. They put the stat up at the beginning of the game that this is the worst Bengals defense in terms of allowing total yards since 2018. That's the Terrell Austin defense. That's the defense that gave up thousands of yards. And this is a team that just went out and gave up 500 yards to the Bears. Like, bro, some got to change, bro. You got to, like, I don't know if you got to fire a position coach. Somebody cannot make it out into the next week, bro, because this is just ridiculous, bro. I don't know what you could really do or say about this defense. And to me, like, when I look at the defense, everybody that they tried to replace from that 2021 defense, it hasn't worked. They haven't replaced Jesse Bates. They haven't replaced Larry Ogunjobi. They haven't replaced Jermaine Pratt. They haven't replaced Logan Wilson. They haven't replaced DJ Reader. They haven't replaced any of those guys. And so the issue isn't replacing them. I don't think it's wrong for them to move on. But the issue is when you try to replace those players and you suck at replacing them, now you get what you got right now. They still don't have – Mike Hilton's another one. We still don't have a Mike Hilton. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, Duke Tobin, you're not hitting on them picks like that, my guy. Like, I don't know what else to tell you because I feel like the front office wants to play a lot of these young players, and they're not up to par, and they're not at the level of playing in these situations that they're playing in. And so now you get the results that you have now, and they're just not ready, bro. They're just not ready, and they're not good enough. And now you have a combination of the worst defense in the league. And to me, it's really sinking the ship for the Cincinnati Bengals, which it sucks because Joe Flacco is playing amazing right now. T. Higgins is playing amazing right now. Jamar Chase is playing out of his mind right now. And even our special team, I've been saying, like, bro, we need the special teams to step up, bro. If they can help us out, they did that today. The special teams was here today, and it's still not enough. I don't know, bro. I'm kind of speechless. Bro. I don't know what else.
Shoot, McPherson missed the 54 though. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
he
think
did. He did.
um bro, like you're like to me, I feel like a lot of people are searching for answers and searching for different things. I feel like all of that stuff that like you could say, I just don't think they're good. Like so, like firing, you know what I'm saying? Like, remember we was on a show last week, and I was making this point. The reason why a Bengal fan would feel like you're one of the you're a good team, or you're like one of the better teams in the NFL, or like you're in contender mode, is because of Joe Burrow. And so when you don't have Joe Burrow, you're just the average team for real. The problem that, and so I'm gonna take it even a step further. Like, and when I say average, I mean like that's the story of the NFL. That's why the salary cap exists. That's why nobody likes the LA Dodgers, because they spend all the money in, or Manchester United. They don't have salary caps. So everybody's operating in their salary cap, and they're creating these teams how they see that they should do it. Steelers spent the highest paid on defense. We took the same money and spent it on the quarter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody's making their team the way that they did. The Bengals didn't use a shitload of picks on defense to compensate for that. Even the Eagles and the Rams had the lowest defensive payroll in the NFL right now, but they're two of the better, defensive units. You have to draft correct. I think the bigger long-term, like off the like in the all-season one, is Tobin. And you know what I'm saying? Like Tobin is not it. So that's the bigger one that I think that's step one. The fire Al Golden for like he's just a piece of this whole, like that's not even a big deal. Like, yeah, fire him. He should be gone tomorrow. But I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that if you had give me like Dennis Allen or somebody like a top defensive coordinator or something in the NFL. Actually, we just cooked them. Give me like a top, you know what I'm saying? Like whoever you think is one of the better defensive coordinators. I come to the conclusion after 8 weeks of football or 9 weeks of football, we're not good. Like the offense is really, really good with Joe Flacco, but the team, the whole thing, like everything around it, they're just not good. Like the defense, I mean, is the bigger portion of it. The defense is at fault. The defense was at fault last year. But I think a lot of people got to come to the realization, like, yes, we should make these changes, but they're just not good. And we see a lot of different teams like every single year, like the Browns or whoever, you know what I'm saying, that are at the bottom of the NFL every year. The Bengals in 2025, to me, they're just one of those teams. They're at the bottom of the NFL. So, like, after a game, I know, like, that's why I don't really, the post-game joints, I don't do these as much because it's always like these knee-jerk kind of things with it. I don't like that as much. But Al Golden getting fired and all these people, none of this is really going to solve the fact that those guys are not good. Like, they're not good. Like, that's not a good team. And everybody, the only person that didn't put up 27 on us was the Browns. Like, you could have a top-notch defensive coordinator. Them dudes have missed 100 tackles. 100 tackles. Coming into this week, they were 85 missed tackles, the most in the NFL by a wide margin. There is no coach that's going to magically get Jordan Battle to tackle. There's no coach that, you know what I'm saying? So it's the actual team, the players. I believe, like, coaching-wise, I thought they could have did some stuff today on Caleb. I thought that they should have added a spy, a delayed blitz, different things like that just wasn't there. So you could go and knock out those. But, bro, they're giving up 40 like it's nothing. Like, they're not good. Can I read this?
The only thing I'll say is I think they pointed it out. I think you're right. I think some coaching has a little bit to do with it because it was one point in the game where I believe the Bears had an alignment where it was like they had the advantage to the left, and Golden had all of our players going the other way, like when we had a disadvantage. So I don't know, bro.
But the only thing about when they pointed that out, though, you don't know if the players did the wrong assignment. You don't know. Like, that's the only thing about it. I remember them showing the overload left side, whatever. Now coaching comes into consideration because you're like, well, how could you line up and see that? And we going over this in practice, or maybe he didn't. So it's like a whole lot of unknowns, like with stuff like that. To me, I'm like one of them guys, like what I see and what is actually transpired. Like, how often somebody come out there and say, this guy would be so amazing if he had da-da-da-da-da-da. My favorite player is Penny Hardaway. I don't tell people he's the best player. He got injuries, things happen. Your numbers are your numbers. Your production is your production. The defense has 100 missed tackles. So, like, it's like, I just don't know a defensive coordinator that's going to get them to tackle. I do believe that Al Golden should be gone. I think he'll be gone first. I think Zach Taylor, I guess, is tied to him. But the crazy thing to me is like, bro, they're dropping 40 a game now. And Joe Flacco look crazy. Like, so like it's his offense the whole time. Like, that's kind of losing a little bit of validity. So now the new arguments are they're not disciplined. I thought the Orlando Brown penalty, the offside field goal, those are major. That's 14 points right there. So like those two things right there, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? They're not good. And I think because we're Bengals fans, it's a tough pill to swallow. But I think every time that we go and we look at other teams and we be like, oh, those guys suck. Like, that's how everybody's looking at us.
So I think the issue with only tying Zach to the offense is the fact that he's the head coach. So he's the person picking these staff members. He's the person hiring these people. And to me, in my opinion, he hasn't hired a good, adequate coaching staff that is able to develop these players. Like, and when you have somebody in Duke Tobin that likes to take swings on potential and not necessarily production or league ready, you got to have a coaching staff in place that's going to be able to develop these players. So, like, when we point to Zach Taylor, yes, the offense is doing well. That's cool. I think a big part of that has to do with Jamar Chase, Joe Flacco, and T. Higgins. But the issue is the people that he's put in place to be over the defense or how he never wants anything to do with the defense or where he's only focused on solely the offense. We get the defense that we have now because it's an offensive-minded head coach. It's an offensive-minded team. And so where we struggle out on defense, we don't have those dogs over there to be able to coach them up. And that's why a lot of the time I'm like, Zach, you got to concentrate on the entire team instead of just the offense itself. We'll see what happens, bro. He was the one that hired Al Golden. He knew what he had. You know, he made the decisions for the positional coaches. You know, we know that, you know, the coaches are very involved in the draft kind of situation. Yeah, I hear y'all. I am never comparing them to 2005 ever again. I hear y'all. I was wrong, bro. Y'all can cook me and I was completely wrong about this defense. Like, when they don't get any interceptions, bro, they are giving it up. It is 30, 40 plus a game. I don't know, man. I just don't understand why the whole thing was simply just placed on Lou when it's clear like they need the personnel and they need the coaches to help develop them as well. It is what it is. Let me get to some of these super chats. Hippie Prophet says it's nasty and dirty. Today's is tomorrow's garden. Maybe this is a turn of something new. Flacco balls. He is a dog, and we know Uno and not. That it's just so crazy, bro, because we can't even talk about how Joe Burrow's on the sideline, you know, passing the ball. It's crazy, bro.
Let me ask you this. Oh, go with the other super chat. I just don't want to forget this. I want to ask you, like, after the onside kick, like, how you were feeling. But go ahead with the super chat.
Yeah, Smitty Boy 499. Man, I've been saying this the past 3 years. Any quarterback can look good against a weak defense, and Al Golden has got to go. Yeah, we kind of spoke on that. I mean, it does seem like anybody can honestly look decent against this defense. Quarterback, running back, whoever. Zach, Al, Tobin have to go tonight. I agree. I don't think that they're gonna do all of that tonight.
Not gonna do that. Yeah, they're not
gonna
do this.
If anybody goes, it might be Al.
Zach. When I do think about it now, that I'm thinking about it because I hadn't really thought about it until I came on the show. He should be gone. Like, I don't think it's fair just to say Al Golden. That's Zach's hire. He got rid of Lou. Like, he let everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, for them to keep Zach around, I just don't get it. make
There was
picture
one
like
thing that you was gonna say before you forgot it, so I don't want you to forget it before.
yeah. I remember.
Okay.
But Zach, you know, like I think he's with all of this. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like he's had his hand in all of this, so he
Yeah.
can't just keep on becoming. He can't just be the scapegoat. Like, and now I'm catching myself because earlier I was like, man, we scoring 40 a game. I don't think that you would have to score 40 a game if you had a competent team. Like, there's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I think we're not that far removed from the Bengals in 2023 being in the AFC Championship. I say 2023 because people say it all the time. The game was played in 2023. So from like a year standpoint, it wasn't really that long ago, right? But to see where the roster is from then to now, I feel like he's had his hand in that. And to me, the bigger issue is Tobin. Like that's the guy. And another thing too that bothers me about them is like the front office is just not active, and they're not like, you don't gotta be Howie Roseman, but like me watching Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I literally was on the show a week ago and saying, bro, like that's a low risk move. I'm trying to get him out every chance I get. I'm not telling him about no money or nothing crazy. Like, yeah, I want Quentin Williams, but like, let's just start it like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, right? The argument would be like the locker room and da-da-da. Like, bro, this dude today, we just watched him. He only been on the team 3 days. This dude was getting pressures. He was tackling in open space. He was doing everything that our safeties don't do. And I'm just like, bro, that's a low risk move. And they don't do enough of that type of stuff and have a communication. Like, life is about networking and stuff. Their network is so weak. Like, they just don't got the motion. They can't really get, you know what I'm saying? Like the motion on Logan Wilson. They don't got no motion on CTB. Any other team would have probably moved them boys by now. Like, regardless of what the record is. Like, they don't have no motion. But what I was going to ask you is this. Despite this is the type of fan I am. I recognize that the defense is awful, right? Awful. But when the Bengals were catching up and we kicked that onside and we got it, I want to know, like, do you think we would have came on this show any different had we won this game? Like as far as like optimism moving forward.
I think it would have been different just because you're like, okay, defense was atrocious, but we at least didn't wreck the season, and we can still try to right this ship. We still could have fired Al Golden after a win, right? You still could have been like, all right, I'm firing him. Let's make some adjustments. Let's just get this dub and get out of here. So when I did see that, I was like, whoa, we about to come back and do our thing. But in the back of my mind, when we scored, I was like, it's still too much. I still didn't foresee that happening with Jordan Battle missing a tackle. And I actually thought, like, there's a chance that we could win this because Santos was missing stuff all day. So I'm like, if they get to a situation where Santos got a kick, I love our chances on that. But
see, I didn't like that.
Wow.
Me being a Bengals fan, I was like, bro, if they get down the field, it could be the worst kicker in the world. He gonna make the kick. So what I was banking on was give me a Caleb Williams sack, and I think that would have ended them because he would have had like second and like 30 or something, like because he'd be running backwards like 10 yards. I was really trying to get a sack on first and second down, and they came very close to it. But this is what I was going to say. Uzi, you know, my son, he's like running into the room like we were watching in different rooms. And we were like, oh, this defense is so terrible the whole game. And then something big would happen. T would score, somebody would score. And I'm like, yes, you know what I'm saying? I just know that a lot of people, I think, to me, I don't even know how to word this, but as I'm watching the game, all of this negativity, I told you about how I watched the game. You know, like I just don't like negative energy around me, right?
Yeah.
And even with the defense being as terrible as it is, I might be in a minority. I was lit. I thought I was like, bro, this game is crazy. Everybody that I was talking to, like in the aftermath of it, was just like, bro, that game was awful. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, bro, this game is crazy. Yes, the defense is giving it up, but I'm like, bro, our offense is crazy. Like I'm formulating things in my mind. Like, if we win this game, I'm like, bro, what can we do? Who can we trade? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think our defense would suck all year anyway. But had we won that game and had we won the game last week and all these different things, Al Golden still should be fired. But I've always said that, and I said this to you before the game. I said that the Bengals win by 1 point. I don't care. You don't really get style points. So many people are caught up in like, oh, we shouldn't even, we didn't deserve to win. I'm gonna say I'm a Bengals fan, bro. I don't care if it's a Ponzi scheme. I don't care if it's illegal betting. The Bengals deserve to win every game. I hate when people say we don't deserve to win it. That's how football is. Like, you're gonna have the Bears are gonna be pissed. They're gonna be like, bro, we just gave up 500 yards for Flacco. I mean, from Flacco, but they're not gonna come back out and be like, bro, our season is over. They're gonna be like, we won. How can we like move forward and fix it? And I feel like so many people get enamored on like football is a game of inches, and we suck. And I think we knew that the defense sucked coming into it, so it's not like a real big talking point to me. So my next thing was, I was going to ask you, because I was at the Jags game. The same thing happened in the Jags game, and everybody's acting like that didn't happen. The defense was terrible, and they ran the clock down at the end, and then they scored. The Bengals scored from the 9-yard line today. Do you think that they should have tried to run more plays, or do you think you just take what you got and score right there?
Yeah, I don't know if you're speaking to that specific point, but during the game, I felt like, we need to waste more time off of the clock, because I was like, this defense can't stop anybody. We can't let it be in a situation where they had a lead and they can sit on the lead with the run game and all of that. Like, we need the ball with time, and we need to like take as much time away as we can. Like, I literally got a tweet saying that, like, bro, we need to start making sure that we use the clock. I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is the first time that I ever, like, before the game was over, was like, season's over. Like, when it was that play, it didn't end up counting, but it was like a pick six, and he took it back the other way. But then they ended up saying like that he was down. I was like, that's the season, bro. I'm not gonna. But it definitely was points in this game where I was like, we gotta use the clock as our ally, because the defense just cannot stop anybody. And I didn't even though I saw the defense not stopping anyone, I still felt like on that last drive, because they didn't have timeouts, because we had the clock on our side, I'm like, we're going to be able to stop them, bro. Like, they're going to run out of time.
They had one. They had one.
Oh, they had one timeout. Yeah, so.
See, I didn't like the 54 seconds, bro. You know what it reminded me of? Remember when we scored on the Ravens? What was that, in 2022? Remember when Burrow scored? And then Justin Tucker came back and kicked that long 60-yard field goal or something. I mean, like a 50-yard field goal at the Lamar had got a scramble or something like that. It reminded me of that. And it's two different arguments, because I was in a group chat and they were like, nah, you just take the point. Like, you just got to score. And I was like, bro, I get it. The defense is terrible. Like, we all know that. And the Bengals know that the defense is terrible.
Wait. My bad. Chase Brown went in on the defense after the game?
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, but back what I was saying. So the defense is, I'm saying, like, at that point, I feel like in the Jazz game, they did what they should have did today at the end of it. I feel like, and then people were like, bro, are you really blaming the offense? I'm like, nah. Like, I'm like, nah, I'm not blaming the offense. Like, but from a strategy standpoint, the way that the NFL is now, teams get the ball at the 30 minimum. So all you got to do is get 35 yards. So I was just thinking, like, they should just run a play and then, like, run like a screen or something, and somebody fall down at the 1. And then even if you got to play on 4th down, that's how bad the defense is to me. I don't think that, like, the defense is magically going to make that stop. But, it is what it is. Everybody, I seen this rumor too. They said Jamar Chase fought a battle. I seen that a bunch of times. Also, the quote that Ace was talking, that's what they said. I don't know. It's a rumor. Everybody keeps on saying it. They said it was a scuffle. Also, Chase Brown, the quote that he said was just, like, out the game, or I don't want to. What is the quote right there? It was like the defense just give us
He
one
said,
effort.
finish the effing game, just end it, just end the effing game.
Defense
Like,
sold, bro.
I
Defense
mean,
sold. Defense sold last week, crazy. Defense sold the whole season.
week.
But see, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Like, mathematically, the Bengals are not out of it, but there's no hope. Like, I would not bring back Burrow, bro. I wouldn't. For what?
You wouldn't bring back Joe. Oh, you talking about for this season? For this season.
If Joe was on the sideline.
not with them playing like this. Nah, bro. There's no risk. By the time he's ready, they're not gonna.
They're not gonna.
I'm sorry, bro. This defense is too bad, bro.
Let's say that they were like in a spot where all they got to do is win like 4 games straight, which they won like 5 games at the end of last season or something like that, right? Say they were even in that spot, like they managed to win a game or 2 coming up. I don't think that the defense. I think that the defense is so bad they would just get smoked in the playoffs.
I don't.
In the greatest scenario that you could come up in your head, it's like
let's just take Joe Burrow out of it. If you said, you would think, if I said quarterback today was 31 of 47, 470 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, doesn't that sound like Joe Burrow? That sound like Joe Burrow to me. That sound like a Joe Burrow game. And this is what we saw last year. Joe Burrow would have amazing games, but it didn't matter what he did. The defense was killing them. Defense and special teams, it just didn't matter, because in those moments where you needed him to step up, there was either a sack or they didn't. There was a 3 and out. And it's because every time that defense is going against anybody else, they giving it up, and they giving it up quick. The 30-second play, it was a time last season where we played against somebody. It might have been the Chiefs, might have been the Ravens. They gave the ball to them and they scored in like 20 seconds. It was like right after we went down the field and scored. That's what that kind of felt like today is. I don't like, bro, 470 yards and 4 touchdowns? That's Joe Burrow. That's Joe Burrow. It's just
so couldn't I argue?
Burrow.
Hold on, but let me ask you this. Flacco is playing out of his mind. This is one thing that I think a lot of people don't.
I'm not saying he's Joe Burrow. I'm just saying the numbers. Yeah. I'm saying like that's a
Flacco is playing out of his mind, bro. That pick, it's a bad pick. Like, you know what I'm saying? But Burrow throws picks here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let me say this though. How come when we score like 40 or something, like you do this sometimes, you come on the show, you be like, Zach was cooking. How come like whenever we score 40 or something, like when the offense doesn't play well, they like take away his play call and stuff. If we score 40, nobody ever brings up Zach. Like, people don't think Zach got nothing to do with that.
Zach has something to do with that, but the issue is they're the only team scoring 40 and losing. Like, they got this historic like stuff that's never been done before. Like, they were like,
but just the offense. But just the offense.
Yeah,
Zach is an offensive coach. Zach is an offensive coach. You had Jake Browning that was out there who wasn't executing the offense correctly. Now you have Joe Flacco out there who is executing the offense correctly. Is it weird? I think because you're so used to everybody just poo-pooing on Zach all day.
Yeah.
Generally, if any other team dropping 40 a game, they're gonna be like, dog, like I want that offensive coordinator.
True, but I think it's more Joe Flacco than it is Zach Taylor, because we've seen this with Jake Browning and they wasn't dropping 40, right? Like, I think Joe Flacco is smart enough, because I seen him audible out of some of the stuff that Zach has called. Like, I'm gonna still give Zach some credit, but when you got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and all of these weapons, you should be dropping 40 every game. Honestly, it should be easy. And no, if you got an adequate quarterback and Joe Flacco's been that, right? Joe Flacco's a guy that this is probably Joe Flacco's best offense that he's ever played in. And that's saying a lot because he's 42 years old. But when you have 2 top 10 NFL wide receivers on one team, you should be going crazy. And you got Noah Fant and you got other, like, you should be going crazy. Like, and I think that we would give Zach his flowers more if they won those games. But they're starting to be like this team that you can drop 30, 40 or whatever, but somehow you're still losing the game. And that's the
Yeah.
part of it
And
where it's
Zach,
like,
and Zach has his hand
where
in
it's
that.
like Zach has his hand in that. Because like we're saying, you got to have the awareness to be like, all right, my defense is playing horrible, so let me run the ball more to get rid of some of this clock. So that way, when we drop 40, we got the ball at the end of the game. Like Zach's, and I've always said this about Zach, his in-game awareness is not good. It's not good. He's got the worst feel for the game in terms of this is what needs to be done. This is what needs to be done, and this is what needs to be done. Like in a game where he's up and he knows his defense can't stop anybody, he's out here still throwing the ball. And I'm like, bro, are you seeing what we're seeing on defense? And that's the part of it for Zach Taylor. When it comes to managing the game and closing out with the win, he's not the sharpest of when it comes to that. He's not sharp at, I need to do this, so that way when my defense doesn't do anything, we still win the game because I wasted enough time in this quarter, that quarter, and I schemed it up enough for us to get out of here with a win. And that's what it is. He's got all of these, like they keep tweeting it out. The Bengals are the only team to score 30, 40 points and still lose the game. That's the part of it where it's like, Zach, what are you doing to ensure as the head coach that we win this football game? And that's where he's falling short. I think he's cooking with Joe Flacco in the offense. But honestly, bro, I feel like a lot of that is Joe Flacco being good, bro. I don't know if you put anybody else outside of Joey B, Joe Flacco. I mean, you could probably get some decent quarterbacks in here, right? But I think a lot of it is Flacco having that veteran presence. And I actually think that it bodes well. And I said this too. I think that he fits better than Joe Burrow because Flacco is this veteran and has seen all of these offenses and has this knowledge. He doesn't mind on changing the play. Like we talked about how Jamar Chase just changed the play, right? Joe Flacco was like, yeah, let's do that because I feel like he has that veteran knowledge where he can command and be like, nah, I think we should run this instead. But I mean, we don't know what all that entails. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from Zach, but I think Flacco, bro, has a lot to do with it as well.
For sure, for sure. I think that's any team though. Like the quarterback, like the ones that can really hoop, like that's just what it looked like. You know what I mean? Like Joe, like I don't think none of these dudes are doing nothing crazy. Like,
I didn't use to respect Flacco like this, bro. Now that he's our quarterback and I see what he does, I have
he nice.
Way more respect for him than I.
He nice and they're protecting him.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was. I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was like Andy Dalton with a Gucci belt. Like I honestly at first, but watching what he's been able to do in this short amount of time, bro. And he's not overcomplicating it. He's just like, bro, I got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. I'm gonna just put the ball wherever they can get it. Let me get to a couple of these super chats because y'all done threw them in here. You cannot ask Duke Tobin to rebuild this mess from IH Prime. Kept the running tab of comedic errors, 24 at least. That said, last week our crime was not scoring 40 points. This week our crime was not scoring 50 MFN points. Unc is more tired than when Brian was in Cleveland. I think he's talking about Flacco. Any word on T's health? Hope he's okay. He was a gladiator day. Yeah, shout out to T. Higgins. Hope he's good. If you didn't see, he kind of like made that catch and exited the game. Hopefully he's okay. Defense get out of training camp is what Victor Pate 24 said. Another $2 super chat from Benjamin Martin. Shout out to you, Ben. Sean, this team is gonna have to rebuild the defense completely. Shout out to you. Why trade anybody the Bengals can't draft? I agree. That's what me and Zimmer said. Like, if you're gonna trade Trey Hendrickson, you clearly don't have the answer for him right now. Like we're seeing right now what this team looks like without Trey Hendrickson. Unless you're getting a first round pick, bro. And I don't even know. Like, even if it's a late part, I still can't trust the Bengals, bro. I don't know. Taylor's post game, no accountability, absolute delusional takes on failures, and no expectations of player or coaching changes. Sickening. I mean, Zach Taylor's the type of coach, he's not gonna tell you much in the post games or in any of that stuff. You just gonna end up seeing it. You got yourself muted, bro.
Breaking news: Jay Glazer says the Bengals are now fielding trade offers for edge rusher Trey Hendrickson. With
That's
the
new or before the game?
This is
This
right
post
after
game?
game. Yep. This is 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So
All
Trey
right.
Hendrickson. I thought it was kind of weird, him and Logan Wilson. I didn't think, to me, I don't think I thought that they were healthy enough that they probably could have played. But if they would have injured something and made it worse, then to me it would take away their trade value.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what that's going to help. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but I don't know what that like.
To me, this is what I was saying, and somebody asked me this earlier. They was like, "Why wouldn't you take?" I would take a first round for Trey Hendrickson, but
Yeah.
I'm very reluctant to even do that. I don't think that they would get a first for him, but so anything less than that, I don't trust them. Right? We're looking at all the edge rushers and everything. Shamar Stewart, also, I don't know if y'all saw this. He left with a knee injury in that game too. So like, I don't trust them to draft anybody. And the thing that I would do is I would blow up the whole defense, but I would keep Trey Hendrickson on that defense. Why do I need to trade him to have success? Is the question that I would ask somebody. It's like why do I need to trade T. Higgins to have success? When I was just going to go, they were just going to go with the same plan anyway. It wasn't like they were going to take the T. Higgins money and then go buy a defensive who? Who are they going to buy? Like, they're not trading nobody. Okay.
I just my bad, bro. I just wondered. I came across a tweet. Apparently, there are some players that decline to speak to anyone after the game. Jordan Battle, Shamar Stewart, TJ Slayton, Chris Jenkins, and Miles Murphy. So those players did not, they declined.
They said see you. They said see you Monday.
See you Monday.
And it's very weak. I think that you're a professional. You have to, you got to act like a professional. I just don't think that them dudes, like a lot of them guys that you just named, they're not good. And I don't know, even if you had, the best, if you had Robert Saleh, I don't think that them dudes are going to be able to tackle. I don't think that none of them dudes are. I do think that some of it, scheme-wise, Al is very, very vanilla. And anything with misdirection, he get cooked. Anybody that gets to their second read or whatever, like, they get cooked. You can scramble, you can move around, you can do whatever. Yeah. But when it comes to the run game, bro, like, nobody can shed. Like, none of them, bro. Like, they all that dude, whatever bro name is, was just trucking everybody, bro. Trucking everybody. Every time that somebody had him lined up for a tackle, he would break that joint and get
Manangai.
Manangai. He would go get like another 2-3 yards at minimum. That dude was terrible. I mean, the defense was terrible. Like, they cannot tackle. Like, I'm telling you, everybody's like, fire this guy, get this guy. Like, I'm coming to the realization.
But do you think
they are not good?
I agree with you. I agree with you. The reason I don't like a guy like Al Golden, he's pretty much a yes man. Zach Taylor, he's a yes man.
He gotta go.
If Duke Tobin is like, hey, I want this player to go, like, we need somebody like, no, this kid is not good. Like, I'm not playing him on my defense. Like, they gotta have somebody that's willing to give pushback and say, this kid's not good. We see it all the time. Mike Vrabel, right? He just traded the safety. He just traded, I think, an edge. Those were top picks over there. Guess what? They weren't playing because Mike Vrabel was like, they're not good for my defense. They're not fits. These guys aren't going to get, like, you got to be able to have a defensive coordinator. And maybe that's not a defensive coordinator problem. Maybe that's a Cincinnati problem. But you got to be able to have a defensive coordinator that can go out there and say, these are my guys that I need. This guy doesn't fit my system. He needs to be gone. We need to trade him. We need to get him up out of here. I don't care if it's got to be for a 6th or 7th round pick. I don't care if you spent a 2nd round pick on him and you just cashed him out like a Kyle Duggar. He don't fit my defense, bro. He's not about what we need here. He got to go. They need somebody that can come in and say, this dude isn't getting it done. I don't care what investments you made or Duke made. He's not the guy. He's not gonna be able to make the tackle.
But
He's not
that
gonna
brings
be
me
able-
to my next point. If you do that mid-season, the guy that you're talking about doesn't exist because he's not going to have a chance to go get his own players, and you're not going to be able to do all that in 1 year. I'm not. And by the way, yes, I think that we're going to wake up and Al Golden's going to be fired like on Monday, right? I do think that, but whoever will come in is not going to have an opportunity to go get his own guys. He's stuck with those guys. And to your point about
crazy. That's
but
that's
think about
gotta change, bro. That's
no,
gotta
but I'm
change.
saying no, not change. Bro, this is the reality of the situation. We're in the middle of the season, so it's not like whoever you're saying can.
No,
come
I'm saying for the person like that. If it would have been somebody other than Al Golden at the beginning of this year, Al Golden can't come in and be like. That's one of the reasons they picked him, right? Because he's Zach Taylor's neighbor. He's not going to be super confrontational. He's not going to demand drastic changes on the defense when he gets in.
But
whoever that next person is, they got to, bro. They can't be like, I gotta take.
But hold on. Before you go off too far, I'm talking about for right now, moving forward, not what we should have did right now, moving forward.
It's too late now, bro. It's over.
But that's what I'm saying.
There's nothing saving this defense right now.
So if you fire Al Golden, who I think he is going to get fired, I do. I think Zach will get fired at the end of the season. But that's the thing when people are like when you're firing, all right, so who are you going to bring? It's going to be the linebacker coach or somebody like that, right? They're going to do the same thing. They're going to bench players, bench CTB, you know what I mean? But you still, the guys that we have, that's what I'm saying, the reality of where we're at right now, that's how I'm operating is like, they're not good.
Yeah.
They're just not good. Like that team, we thought the defense would be a little bit better this year, for sure. I thought they would be good against the run. They are worse against the run. I thought that like the guys like Chris Jenkins and company would take a next step and just be like solid run defenders. None of these guys are hoop. None of these dudes are hooping, bro.
I don't even know why, because I said the same thing. And then when I think about it, when you think about the offseason, they really did, and it's crazy because our ops told us this, but they really didn't change much. They really didn't change much personnel-wise. Like outside of adding TJ Slayton, outside of letting some veterans go, like a Mike Hilton, they really didn't change much. So I'm kind of like looking at myself like, why did I think Al Golden was going to change so much? Because it's basically the same team minus, some key veterans. I don't know why I thought it was going to change that much.
Burks. I thought it would change because of this. You had a second round guy and Slayton. You re-signed, so I've seen those posts that leave out a lot of context, right? So when you're drafting somebody like a Chris Jenkins, it's in the second round. So from a fan perspective, you're going to have high hopes. From a GM perspective or de facto GM, you can't bail on it and be like, oh, all right, well, we're just going to go get such and such. You got to, that's a second round pick. You got to move forward with it. That's how I look at Burton, too. I'm like, bro, that's a third round pick. You can't just have him a healthy scratch every single week, regardless how you feel, because it sets you back. And to me, that's the bigger overall thing is like they don't have enough talent. And yes, I said Burton because that's the only one. To me, he was drafted pretty high. Same thing with McKinley Jackson and stuff. It's like they saw him, but he was a later pick, so we don't care about replacing him. But I thought some of these guys would take the next step. Remember, we extended Osai. We hadn't seen much from him because he would get hurt and whatever. But then when he would come in different spots on this defense, he would make some plays here and there. So you're thinking like, man, I get 5 sacks from him. You're hoping somebody like a Cedric Johnson takes the next step. He showed flashes, you know what I mean? Like before the season, there are a lot of guys in place. And so you might say, Jim, all those guys suck. But in the open market, what are you going, Ojulari was a conversation. He's on injury reserve. The guys that were there to be had, who are those guys? It was Milton Williams who signed a big contract that we weren't going to touch. You know what I mean? So it's it wasn't that many defensive guys that were out there. But then when they brought in Slayton, he was the number one run stop defense guy, in the NFL last year. So you're thinking okay, at worst, he'll be solid. And they do have guys there. We're thinking that, okay, one of these dudes got to hit. Even Miles Murphy. That's a first-round pick. So people like, man, they suck. Let's go just sign that. You can't just bail on first and second round picks like that. Now you can, because
I don't know, bro.
Now you can, because you know that
they.
But for the season though, you think about it. We were like, bro, why Sam Hubbard always playing over Myles Murphy? This is the first season we actually gonna get 400, 500 snaps on Myles Murphy, and that sample size we're gonna be able to see, and that's a first round pick. We can't bail on it. What is the other option? What was the guys like? What was it? I don't even remember the guys that were out there. To me, they were in the draft. I don't really remember when we were doing the free agent shows. Yeah. It wasn't that many guys that were available. And don't forget, the year before they wasted $24 million on Sheldon Rankins. Like I said, on those posts, to me, they leave off a lot of context. It's not that they didn't do anything. It's that they drafted so many defensive players and none of them are hitting. That's the story. It's like Jordan Battles of the world and all these dudes, even a Dax Hill, that's a first round pick. They put a lot of chips in on defense in the draft, and that's their strategy. It's the strategy of the Rams and the Eagles, but except they draft way better. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, for sure.
Bengals can't draft, or defense at least.
Let me see. I'm trying to find. I know we got one more. I would not be heartbroken if I never have to see Myles Murphy, Shamar Stewart again in stripes, fire Duke Tobin. That is from Fuzzy. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys for coming through. We're going to toss it to our friends over at Midwest Best Barbecue, and then we're going to wrap up real quick.
Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them hot honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them hot honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. And much love to Mama T, Uno and CTB. MB's got Bengals wings, and now we just added T's. 9 to 5 winning things, gritty for Uno wings. We say yes, Sirski now, like Aces and be saying that T got them new wings, only at MB's. Hot honey lemon peppers, now you can call them T's. Hot honey lemon peppers, now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them hot honey lemon peppers, now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5.
That was nice. I ain't gonna lie.
Shout out to Midwest Best Barbecue 669 Justice Court in Loveland, Ohio. Make sure you tap in with them. Thanksgiving is around the corner. They do Thanksgiving catering, so make sure you tap in with them. If you are trying to get some catering for the holidays, get those orders in because they sell out pretty quickly. So make sure you tap in with Tim and Nicole and let them know Ace and Zim sent you. And yeah, brisket fries still are the same after a win or a loss. It's still a dub if you get some of those brisket fries or you get some of those wings over at Midwest Best Barbecue. Once again, that's 669 Justice Court in Loveland, Ohio. Yes, those Midwest Best wings definitely hit. Zen, was there anything that you want to say before we get up out of here?
The Bengals had a kickoff return for a touchdown, a blocked field goal, an onside kick recovery, 500 yards on offense, 2 wide receivers with 100+ yards, 15 points scored in less than a minute, 42 points total points scored, and lost.
Damn shame. We still here though. Yes, sirski. Coming up on the Cincinnati podcast.
Hello world, Cincinnati. You guys are the Yoshi creators, bro.
It's a new beginning. You know what that means, right?
But I know this, the whole NFL is scared of the Bengals.